What up, everybody? It's your boy Agent, and we're back. And I'm coming back and I'm redoing this. I'm talking about the update on Michigan's coaching staff. As we all know, Sherrone Moore was promoted to head coach after Jim Harbaugh decided to take the job out at the Los Angeles Chargers. But we knew it was going to be some coaching changes, and we thought we were going to be able to keep a lot of guys. But the moral of the story has been Michigan has lost a lot of key figures on his coaching staff and guys that have been vital in recruiting these guys and keeping some of these players on this roster, guys that have been huge in development. I talked about Ben Herbert leaving, but here's a couple guys who just left, and it's very hurtful, and it hurts recruiting as well, especially getting some of these guys and getting ready for the 25 and 26 recruiting cycles. Notable, all the 27 signees in the 24 class have all signed their letter of intent. Some are enrolled early, some are signed and ready to go. So we'll see what happens with spring ball. But with that being said, earlier this week, Mike Elston decides to take a job with the Los Angeles Chargers and go with Jim Harbaugh, defensive line coach for the past 2 years. It's been highly implemented in some of his recruits in Michigan and developing these guys like Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant. So it hurts. And then we lose graduate assistant Dylan Rooney. He decides to leave. He was helping with the edge guys, so your Jalen Harrells, your David Ajabos, Aiden Hutchinsons, Mike Morris, some of these guys that have been really developmental in the system. And then also today, this is why I re-recorded this video, was the fact that Steve Clinkscale, yes, he's been with Michigan a few years, out of Ohio, been a huge guy in recruiting, especially the DB position. He decides, as a first report, I thought he was staying, was reported that he was staying, and I guess he changed his mind as of this morning. He decides to follow Jim Harbaugh as well and takes his talents to the Los Angeles Chargers. What role he'll have on that, I'm not sure. But who knows what decision was, if they paid his salary, what the case may be. But this is huge when it comes to recruiting, because he's been a key vital figure in going into the Buckeye State, going down to Florida, even into Texas, and get some of these guys. Michigan even got DJ Pickett, the number 9 ready recruit in the class of 2025, a safety / corner, 6'2", 170. I've talked about it. He put Michigan in his top 5, but it's not looking good right now. He's a big fish in trying to get some of these DB guys, especially out of Ohio, like I talked about, and it just hurts. It's very rough right now for Sherrone Moore. Right now, the dead period it started from February 5th to March 9th. So, or March 30th, excuse me, guys. So, this is the time for Sherrone Moore to get his coaching staff together. But I will say he has time. You can try to get some of these recruits back on board. I know Michigan was trending with a few guys, but we'll see. I guess they'll still have Michigan on the list, but it depends on who Sherrone Moore hires. So that leaves a hole at the linebacker position. Coach Chris Partridge left and got fired. 2, running back coach, we're not sure what's up with Mike Hart. He's been MIA. I've heard he's been dealing with some family issues. His contract, it was over at the 2023 season, so we don't know what we're going to do with that. D-line coach, like I talked about, Mike Elston. Now, the secondary and DB coach, Steve Clinkscale, has developed a lot of these guys and helped get some of these guys on the campus that were in the present roster, such as Keon Sabb. You got Zeke Berry, Makari Page, Rob Moore. Josh Ross probably helping get them a transfer. Some of these guys who's been a pivotal in the secondary. Now, got to get some of these guys to stay. So we'll see what they decide to fill the position as. So that's what we have empty right now, and I'll get to what has happened, what they have filled since then. So offensive coordinator has been filled by Kirk Campbell, former quarterback coach, worked with J.J. McCarthy last few years. And then the DC, who was just hired a few days ago, and Wink Martindale, former NFL defensive coordinator, was with the New York Giants the past couple of seasons and formerly with Baltimore Ravens. He was with Jim Harbaugh earlier in his career in San Francisco. Well, with that being said, Wink's style is a little different. It's a little more aggressive, highly aggressive than what Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald have ran. A lot of more man-to-man coverage, blitzing getting 5 guys to the quarterback. So we'll see how that affects recruiting, how it affects the system, and how different this defense does look. That'll tell you a lot coming to spring ball, and if some of these guys start to move on or stay. As we all know, Ron Bellamy stays on as wide receiver coach. He's been trying to get into Texas, been trying to get into Florida, Ohio. He's just trying to get some of these receivers. Michigan needs a big body guy on the outside, but Ron Bellamy stays on. Offensive line coach has been Grant Newsome, formerly known as the Titans coach, promoted to offensive line, and Sherrone Moore has the hand over those duties. Tight end coach Steve Kasula, don't know too much about him, but got him there. Like I said, now we got to hire a DB coach, and then we hired a special teams coach, JB Brown. Been in Michigan a couple years. Was an analyst, I believe, out of the state of Texas. So he's been helping with the recruiting. Maybe he'll be the next guy up to really develop a relationship with some of these guys out of the Lone Star State. But right now, it's just really shaky right now for this Michigan program. We all knew it would be a transition of change, and we've seen it. Jim Harbaugh has plucked the biggest assistants that Michigan has had over the few years. They've got these guys developed, and now it's only a matter of time until he can figure out what they're gonna do. And like I said, they have time. They have time to get the coaches staff together with this dead period, which is probably the biggest thing right there. And no contact recruits or getting them on campus. So Sherrone Moore has to show up this coaching staff and make sure they get them on their own, developing, make these guys believe and keep the roster that they not only have intact, but keep this recruiting coming in. And they only have 3 guys committed right now in the 25 class. Carter Smith out of state of Florida. He won Mr. Football of the Year. Eli Owens, a tight end out of Tennessee. Bobby Kanka, a defensive lineman out of Ohio, Michigan. He liked the Wink Martindale fit for him, so he looks like he's staying with him. These guys are going to be the catalyst right now for his recruiting class. But you got to get some of these high 4-star and possibly a 5-star on this roster. So it's very vital. It's very essential that this happens. As we all talked about, Michigan is behind on NIL right now. You see what some of these teams are doing, such as the Georgias, the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Texas A&M. Some of the teams you won't be able to keep up with, but you have to make an effort into. I know they're trying to maintain their players, but they also need to shell out some money. I know a lot of people don't like it, but you got to give the times of college football. This is where it's at. And maybe that's one of the reasons why some of these coaches have left Michigan. And they're not the only one. Jeff Hafley left Boston College to take a defensive coordinator job in the NFL. It's a lot. The lifestyle is a lot easier in the NFL. It's a lot with the college football. But that being said, Sherrone Moore needs to shore this thing up. And stop the, not the nosebleed, but just stop all the noise and the chaos and just get some continuity back on this coaching staff and get these guys ready to go and locked in and focused, because college football will hit you fast in the face and you can't stop it. So we'll see how it happens. But I want to give you guys an update on this coaching staff, where it is and what I think right now. It got me a little concerned, definitely. But once he gets his coaching staff fully filled out, I'll be back more. But that's just where I'm at right now. So they gotta get back on track, because they're a little behind right now, and it's just moving a lot slower than I would like it to be. But we'll see. I'm definitely giving Sherrone Moore a shot. I think he's going to do a great job, but he's got to get the coaches in place to help him build this thing and keep this thing moving, because they're behind right now on the 8-ball. But hey, I know they won a national championship, no they asked for it, but you don't want to fall back behind and be where they was at before these 3 years, the last 10 to 15 years. So you got to stay on track, especially in the ever-changing landscape of college football. But hey, it's your boy Adrian, and I'm out.